Tales from the wild. Stories from the heart. A journey into the mind and soul of fired-up business professionals where they share their vision for the future. And hear from a different non-profit organization every month as they create awareness of their goals and their needs. Dive into a world of untamed passion as we join our host, Shireen for this month's episode of Friends from Wild Places.
What an amazing story. What a really, truly.
I think we all have these little moments, these nuggets in our lives where, that they lead us to where we become.
Right. And it's true for me as well. It's true for Tanya. We're following this journey that's unique to only us. And it's amazing. It's so exciting,
Yeah.
What would be one of the pieces of if you, some of the listeners are obviously wanting to start, not obviously, but they're coming to a point in life where they're not happy in the corporate world or wherever they are, and they've been having this idea to start their own business for a while now, and they haven't done so yet. Or you have the other party where they have done so and they're very new to it, and they're in that imposter syndrome kind of space where they're not sure if they're going to make it or they're going to fail or should they continue. So you got those two kinds of groups, and many of them are mid-age and suddenly just decided to do it well into their age. So what would be your piece of advice for them?
Oh, that is a tough one. Because I would say, like, something that's definitely helped me is it's easy to say go out and get a mentor, right? It's kind of, I feel like that's said quite a bit lately, I've noticed. And I'm a part of, and even Tanya and I have discussed this, but I'm even part of sort of peer support within the funeral space, and especially supporting women and all that sort of stuff. And I am absolutely all about it. And I always say, like, reach out to me in this space. If you see me at a convention, come up and say hi. Like, if you've listened to the podcast at all, please do and stuff. But I will also say that is difficult, both as a mentor and a mentee, in a sense, right? There are certain people that I have thought, oh, I'd love to have them mentor me, and they do, but it's mentoring somebody can just mean picking up the phone and having a 5-10 minute conversation. It doesn't have to mean meeting every week and it being consistent, because I would love to help more people. I just don't have the time or the bandwidth at the moment. So there is a little bit of that tricky juxtaposition where it's like I want to help everybody, but you kind of have to start with yourself first, and you have to fill up your own cup before you can help other people. And I know there's a lot of budding funeral event planners out there. I've seen some of them. I'm, supporting them as much as I kind of can. But it's not easy. We're all trying to kind of find our way in the world. And I mean, the US at the moment is just a bit insane. So it's tough. It's not easy. So what I would suggest to people that I have found helpful is, and these do take time, but if you have the time, is going to networking and going to community events, whether it's in your industry or in your space or in your local area. Like, for example, I just joined a thing that I think it's in Miami and it's here in Fort Lauderdale, but I just joined a thing where it's business women going on walks together. And you're paired up, there's 3 of you, and you go on a walk together. And I was like, brilliant. That is getting me my steps in for that day, and I get to meet 2 interesting women. That is exactly the type of stuff I want to be doing. Because I don't have time to be going to a million different networking things. And if I do go to these networking things, it's I want to talk to people who are going to progress, me forward. I don't want to be wasting my time. But I also am very cognizant of you get what you give as well. Like, I do notice there at a lot of these networking things, and I don't want to say it's an American thing, but I do notice that some people can be a bit sort of like, are you giving me anything? No, then I move on. I'm not like that. You never know what nugget of information you're going to get from somebody or where a relationship can bring you. So It's like going with intent and going with business cards, yes, but it's having conversations with people and staying in touch with people. Organizing a happy hour, or it doesn't even have to be an alcoholic happy hour. I know I'm being very Irish when I'm saying that, but organizing a coffee morning yourself. Like if what you want isn't available in your community, then maybe make it happen. Like there's been many, many times in my career where I've been time rich and money poor. And if I've got time, then I will help people. I will, do Zooms, which are free. Okay, you have to have Wi-Fi, but there are things you can do. So yeah, I mean, I guess that would be my advice to people, is just try and find like-minded people, especially if you're female. We're all, for the most part, trying to help each other, but sometimes, and actually this is key, sometimes how can I help you? I'm the one who wants the help. But if, for example, I would maybe approach you, Shireen and Tanya, and be like, but how can I help you? Maybe I can promote your podcast. Does it cost me anything? No. But by doing that, you guys are going to think a little bit more favorably of me and maybe give me more time, if that's what I'm looking for. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it on the head. Because I say, because that's my experience, is get yourself a mentor. I had two when I first started out as a business owner, and they kept on talking me off the ledge every time I just wanted to pack my bags and quit, So mentors are very important. And if you can, find those. But I think your perspective of things, Jennifer, is actually it's nice. I like what you said there. So thank you for sharing. Tanya, do you have any more questions before we move on to the non-profit of the month?
So let me see, Jennifer, I guess, I just want to just ask you, is there anything that you maybe haven't been asked or haven't shared that really just want to get something out to our listeners? So most of our listeners, entrepreneurs, all walks of life, all ages, gender, there's really not a specific target market, but just something that you want to share about your journey as far as, breaking into, as you called it, male dominated industry, anything at all.
Well, that's actually a great question. And actually, I'm glad you did ask, because it's not something I would have thought of saying. But I would say, so for me, myself, I mean, I'd be remiss to kind of not share that we have courses. Obviously, I'm writing my fourth book, and we do have courses available for people in the profession and not in the profession. I even have a meditation. It's $5 for the meditation. I think a great 10-minute meditation. I actually play it while I walk. I do walking meditation because I can't sit still. Again, I'm multitasking. See, that's always the key. And my courses are designed as I said at the start, I'm not a funeral director. I'm not a death doula. They're designed very much from somebody who's been outside of the business, trying to get into it for the last 16 years. I still almost say that I'm still trying to get into it. Because we're always learning. There's always some education that we can learn. But what I love about your question is, as an immigrant in this country, coming from Ireland, who has had to fight tooth and nail, both in terms of legally to, be legal in this country, but also to set up a business without any family or resources here, is the people you surround yourself with are the most important. They're going to make or break you. And you don't have to be physically surrounded by them. Like I would be lost without Zoom and FaceTime, and especially during the pandemic. I mean, I lived in a basement in the pandemic, a practically windowless basement in the pandemic, and had many, many ups and downs over the last 16 years. And so there's so many little nuggets, I would say, is what you see on social media is not real life. Even my own, like some people are like, Jen, you look like you're living the best life. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't see the dark moments. You don't see the times where I'm sitting with a glass of wine at my balcony in the lashing rain, crying my eyes out like a 3-year-old. You don't see where I've just been let down with something. You don't see the late hours. And so, all of that is to say, just be kind to people, because I've seen such horribleness in this country. I've seen it in my own country. There's no need to be nasty. It doesn't matter what side of the tracks you're on, what religion, what your political beliefs are. If we could all just be a little bit kinder to people and surround yourself with people who lift you up as opposed to pull you down, that would be my biggest advice. People call me so resilient, and that I've managed to stick it out for as long as I have. And part of me is like, I don't know if that's a compliment or what's going on, but I would just say stick with it and evolve. Just keep evolving, because just because, I mean, what I started out with is not where I'm at today, and it's because I just kept evolving. I wasn't giving up on this one general idea, and I just kept going, and I wouldn't be able to do it without the people around me. So yeah, don't believe everything you see on socials. Keep good people around you, be nice, and just keep going.
Snap, drop the mic, walk off. We love that. I absolutely love that. Thank you, Jennifer. Also, we absolutely love animals. Between Tanya and myself and Jennifer, we love the fur babies, as you can see for those people that are watching. There's a picture behind me, and that is my first fur baby, Rolo, that I lost just over a year ago, and still brings tears to my eyes. So everywhere I can, I always want to try and support animals that don't have humans to call their own, animals that have been abandoned or abused. I didn't ask to be either of those things. So, Jennifer, I'm going to leave it to you just to share with the listeners a little bit more about our nonprofit of the month. But just so you know, listeners, it's called Rescue Life, and it's the Animal Assisted Enrichment Program. That's Rescue Life Animal Assisted Enrichment Program, and we're going to put all the links and stuff in the show notes for you. So don't worry about that. We'll have that all sorted for you. But Jennifer, tell us a little bit about your Friends program.
So yes, this is actually a good friend of mine, relatively new, but good friend of mine down here in Florida, and it's called Rescue Life. And it helps both animals and children, and I guess adults. It's using education, healing. I mean, animals are just such healing creatures, and we can learn so much from them. I mean, back to my be kind, like, animals are not, angry or vicious. They don't know that without humans teaching them. So yeah, it's an incredible charity. They help children with special needs, youth, generally children that are at risk, and they work with families and schools, and they help promote emotional well-being in all of those. And obviously, it's a great time for the animals as well, because these animals would probably be, in slaughterhouses, or just generally, it's just such fabulous. I follow them all on Instagram and social media, and just seeing Stacey with the donkeys and the various different things and all the activities that they get up to is just really great. So just check out Rescue Life. They're based here in Florida, and it's my chosen nonprofit.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so beautiful. And yes, I mean, we just had shame, and our last guest, she has sheep. What was her name again?
Elizabeth Fournier.
Elizabeth Fournier.
Oh,
She's telling us about her sheep, and now she sings to her sheep. Oh, my heart just
Elizabeth is lovely. She is lovely. Oh.
Anyway, sorry, I get carried away when we talk about animals. But yes, don't worry, we're going to have all the information in the show notes. But yeah, if you want to just take some time, listeners, and go and check it out and see, if you're not in the area, to maybe go and support what they're doing. You can always help monetarily and donate to their vision and what they're doing for the community and for the animals, because yes, animals have such a healing power. I do believe that they are created. So I really, really love animals, and I think they do so much for us. So yes, enough of that. I'd love to end with a little bit of a game for the podcast before we say goodbye to each other. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I don't think we've played this game yet, guys, so bear with us. But this game is called Fact or Opinion. And there is another game called Fact or Fiction, and I think it's kind of like the same thing, but now this one's going to be it's called Fact or Opinion. So we're going to take it's just have a statement, and then you guys decide whether it is fact or opinion. So this is going to be interesting. Are you listening to the first statement? First one is, statistically, women live longer than men. Is this opinion or is it fact? Lady.
Fact.
Fact? Oh, Tanya?
I'll say fact also.
Yeah, girls. It is fact. Oh my gosh. That was my favorite. When I found that one, I was like, uh-huh. That's great.
There's a reason.
What do you think the reason is, Jennifer?
Well, I don't know if you guys saw recently. I saw on social media, but I think it's like the Hollywood Reporter or something, where they have a round table of actresses and actors, and they get like certain people together, and they had all of the actresses from the morning show, and they were talking about something. Reese Witherspoon, I think she'd said something in a speech where she was talking about how in every movie women used to always turn, like I remember even saying it to my father growing up in James Bond, how all the female characters would be like, oh, James, right? And so Reese Witherspoon said, you know, how come in all the old school movies the woman always turned to the man and was like, oh my God, what should we do now? And so the actresses were debating this, and Jennifer Aniston basically turned around. She was like, I'm sorry, at what point, ladies, in any part of your life, any part of your life, have you ever turned to a man and said, oh my God, what do we do now? It just doesn't happen in the female vocabulary. It's like, we already have a plan. We're basically just saying, okay, we're going to execute this. How are we doing this? Or what's happening? Or like, we're moving the parts. We're not asking them, oh, we've a total no brain cell. So I think that's why.
Yeah, for the important.
Check it out. It's really good.
Yeah. Like with important topics, we've got everything down to the T. But don't tell us we're indecisive when it comes to food. That's like silly. That's silly. That's not important to us. What we're going to eat today, I don't know, you choose. You know, it's I'm going to be more decisive on big things. Like I will have a plan in place, everything's sorted down to the last little cross of the T and the dot of the I.
Yeah.
But things like, what do you feel like eating today?
Yeah. Well, we always have an opinion. Yeah. We always have a thought.
Okay, here's another one for us. All right. Working from home is more productive for everyone. Is this a fact or is this opinion?
Opinion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go opinion too.
Yeah, it's definitely opinion. Absolutely. Obviously, it's more productive for me. I love being able to work from anywhere in the world. Very productive for me. But for some people, they need to be in an office. They need to get out of the house to be able to be productive. Fair enough. You know, it's different for everybody. Okay, here we go. A standard deck of playing cards contains 52 cards. Is this a fact or is this opinion?
Fact.
Fact.
That was easy. Of course, it's a fact. 52 cards for sure. All right. This is an unusual one. Water always comes from the sky. Fact or opinion?
Fact.
What do you think, Tanya?
I don't know. I wish my supervisor was here. She's an expert in water. I don't know. I'm gonna say opinion. I don't know.
Okay. It is actually fact. Water always comes from the
good
sky.
job, Jennifer. Good job. Good job. It comes from the sky, huh? That's this really okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I was like, even rivers or anything like that, it comes from condensation into the rivers, which then go to the tap, you know,
I would, that was a good one. Okay, this one's easy though. This one's an easy peas one. Maybe for me though, because I know a lot about the body, and you ladies obviously know more about the body as well. So this is just silly. Okay. The human heart has 4 chambers, fact or opinion?
Yeah, it depends how you look at it, but yes, it can be a true statement. It can be fact.
What do you mean? It depends.
So, to me, then, if you're saying it depends, I feel like it's opinion then.
No, I'm gonna say fact. I'll say fact.
Oh,
For
It's how
sure.
it's worded. It's how it's worded.
Yes.
oh.
The human heart has 4 chambers. That is facts. I love that.
2 ventricles. Yeah. So that's it. But the interesting thing is just depending, I teach funeral pathology, funeral embalming, funeral restorative. So depending on how you actually have that question, it can be like, well, there's other parts of it. So depicting the specific, but yes, 2
Right.
upper, 2 lower.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I knew my Tanya would be there with all the answers. I knew it.
Tanya, you need to participate in the NFDA, the National Funeral Director Association, have a quiz at their annual convention every year, like it's a trivia quiz where you compete before you show up, and then there's one sort of in person. You'd be so good at it. I'm
Yeah,
useless.
so I've actually contributed to to the questions,
Oh,
over
you
the
have?
yeah, but I'm a contributor. You know something, but I am not like it's almost like what I know very well, and what I don't know,
Mm,
I don't know at all. So
yeah.
I'm not one for like current events, current facts, like that kind of stuff, or who said this. Like I've never even seen an episode of 6 Feet Under. I mean, and I'm
Yeah.
like 2 years in the funeral profession. So certain things I just don't know at all, like zero
Yeah.
reference.
Same. I haven't watched that show either.
Me neither.
I keep trying to, but
Yeah. Oh, ladies, I can't believe it. It's come to the end of the podcast. So this is the time where you take a moment just to let the listeners know where they can find you if they want to reach out or they're really connected with you during this podcast. Just let the listeners know exactly what your favorite place is. If you want an email, a phone number, however, whatever you're comfortable with. Jennifer, go ahead.
Well, you can look me up on socials at Jennifer Muldowney, is pretty much across the board. At Muldowney Memorials is my company, but if you want me personally, then at Jennifer Muldowney is the easiest. Otherwise, through my website, muldowney.memorials.com. And thank you for having me.
Oh, it was lovely having you. Yeah. Tanya, what about yourself? Where can we find you?
Thank you, Shireen. So pretty much LinkedIn is my hub. You'll see my posts there from Miami-Dade College. I oversee the funeral service program. So all this discussion about death and funerals, if anyone is looking for a career change, we do offer 2 pathways. We offer the Associate of Science, which is 72 credit hours. We also offer the college credit certificate, which is for Florida, for funeral director only. So contact me for more information on that. I do also work in the senior space, matching people with communities. My niche there is folks with dementia. So families who have loved ones with dementia. We are a free placement agency, and I do cover the East and West Coast of Florida. And the latest that I've been actually just booming with is the expert witness for funeral and cemeteries. So if there's any personal injury attorneys out there, we're happy to consult with you for any wrongdoings within our profession. So LinkedIn is where to find me. And how about you, Shireen?
Thank you, Tanya. Yes, you can find me on the socials as well. Shireen Buerta, or if you want to follow Shireen's Bookkeeping as well, if that interested you, that you can find Shireen's Bookkeeping on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. Our podcast, Friends from Wild Places, has their own website, which is friendsfromwildplaces.buzzsprout.com. That's friendsfromwildplaces.buzzsprout.com. Please go and think seriously on whether you want to try and support us a little bit more by subscribing. It's only $5 a month. We would really appreciate it. But if you can't, that's also okay. A simple like, share, comment would also mean the world to us. You can definitely go on any of the live streams to search for Friends from Wild Places, and you'll find us anywhere. And also on YouTube, Friends from Wild Places. You can find us on the video in the And the audio, if you want to see our faces, well, then that's the place for you. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for listening, and we really appreciate you. And remember, you got this, and stay wild. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Friends from Wild Places with Shireen Buerta. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast from the links to catch every episode and unleash your passion.